Fire station culture exists within the fire station, but when we go to fire calls and on our way back, that banter continues in the fire engines. As a professional organisation, when the bells go down, you get on with your work, and firefighters become very professional as soon as that fire call comes in. But once you've dealt with the fire or a incident on the way back to the fire station, or if you're out doing out duties or something like that, on a day shift, the banter can continue in the back of a fire engine. And when you're in the back of a fire engine, you can become claustrophobic and become isolated, and there's nowhere to go. I mean, you can't possibly, if you jump out of that fire engine and decide you want to go home, fire brigade are going to come down and say, well, why? And unless you've got a really good reason, you're pretty much on your last leg and talking about walking. One thing that got me out of the situation, without a shadow of a doubt, was wanting to become a fire brigade driver. And I think that was one element about growing up, was this idea of driving red fire engines around the town. And I quickly, as soon as I got to Paisley, I put my name down to become a driver. And I think I had to wait 2 years, so it would have been about 1996. I went on my driving course, and I think that's one element that it gets you out of the back of the fire engine, where you are not so much in control, but there is an element of control there, because they're relying on you getting them to the incident, and they're relying on your skill to get them to the incident safely. And also, there would be silly things like going around the town, or if you come back from a fire at 1 in the morning in the middle of Glasgow, then ultimately on the way back to the station you might make a slight detour and go up, Buchanan Street or Girl Street or whatever it may be, or through the middle of Paisley as it was for us. And there would obviously be a lot of people out and about, and the boys would be looking at the girls and I'd be looking at the boys, and they just could not handle this. Especially if I'm driving and I see a nice guy, and I'd just be like going round in circles going, oh, he's nice, he's nice, he's nice. So there was that element, and I think the more and more they realised that that was slightly different from what they wanted, I think they started to think, maybe we are being a bit selfish here. And there has been a few occasions very, very quickly within the space of the first few years after coming out, where I persuaded them to come up onto the gay scene in Glasgow, which was quite remarkable.